At this point, maybe I'd like to throw the discussion to the floor. If there are any questions from the audience to our distinguished panelists. Any questions at the moment? Yes, sir. Can we get a mic? And please introduce yourself behind you.
Thank you for taking my question. I'd like to, my name is Scott Barber from Travelport. I'd like to ask the Ministers for Tourism their thoughts on connectivity, specifically in aviation, and the fact that in the Asian countries there's still a high degree of government control, and to what degree does that stop competition? So is this to the two ministers? Yes, please. Yes. Maybe Mr. Sun?
Cambodia, we adopted open sky policy, so there's no really restriction in Cambodia. Okay, so practically you can set up a company here, you can fly in and out of the country, there's no issue. And if talk about the investment law in Cambodia, I would say the Cambodia probably has the most liberal, open investment regime in ASEAN. There's no restriction on ownership of the company. You can own 100% of a company in Cambodia. There's no exchange control in the country. So yeah, just add on to what you talk about the aviation, but overall I'm saying that we just open economy, that you can you do practically what you want to do within the law, obviously.
Well, in Thailand too, I think we try to relax government's rules and regulations in our transport sector. For the aviation, I think there is no restriction on that, and the land transport as well. But of course, the infrastructure investment that we try to facilitate, particularly right now we on the process of issuing the special law on the special economic zone, that any companies who are investing in this area will get the maximum benefit, as well as there's no restriction on the shareholder between the local and the international as well.
So basically for both Cambodia and Thailand, it's a foreign company or a foreign investor can start a business in transportation, in aviation,
yes,
with no restrictions.
May I add, before coming to this session, Tony Fernandez met with our Prime Minister, and I wasn't in that meeting. He wanted to set up Air Asia Cambodia. And he asked the Prime Minister, Mr. Prime Minister, can I set up as a joint venture? Or should the Prime Minister said, don't have to take the local partner. Own 100% of Air Asia Cambodia to do it. So this is just to let you know that we're very, very, very open.
Right. That is very, very good to hear. Any other question? Yes, ma'am. Can we have and then the lady first.
Thank you. Thank you to fantastic panelists. My name is Sandra Wu. I'm the CEO of Kokusai Kogyo. And I'm also the co-chair of WEF Industry and Urban Development Industry Group this year. And thank you, Minister Sun came to Davos, our section, private section this year. My question to Minister Sun and also Minister Kom is, any message, your expectation or your aspiration to the infrastructure and the urban development and all my colleagues here, my peers today, and also that message that I can take back to my group? Thank you.
Well, the message would be that the Cambodian government will allocate majority budget to build the efficiency, to build a better road, connectivity to our neighboring countries so that we can export our product to the world. That's a message. Second message would be, please come to look to Cambodia to look for the opportunity to invest in the infrastructure, because we are open to the private sector participating in the building of infrastructure in our country.
Well, for me, actually, we will make your life more comfortable living in Thailand. Invest in Thailand, because Thailand is one of the countries that most people love Thai people. My job is to make how you can travel more easily, convenient, and most important is the safe.
Thank you. Is that strong enough a message for you to take back? Yes, sir. Can we have a mic in the front?
Thank you. My name is Guyun Chung, and I work for a European utility focusing on renewable generation and distribution power networks. In the power sector, traditionally it's been about large investments, large centralized power stations, or large infrastructure transmission lines. And we're already seeing a transition towards decentralized generation and more smaller size investments. My question stems from the fact that because of these industries' trends, how do you plan to manage that tension where even now we still see governments and even lenders gravitating still towards those big ticket infrastructure projects that have longer build times and that have risks of becoming stranded assets? And we are struggling with trying to manage these small investments and how to scale that. So I would like to ask the panel, given this trend towards more decentralized, more smaller investments, how do you plan, or how do you try to grapple with that tendency towards preferring, bigger projects? Thank you.
Thank you. President Jin, maybe you can take a shot at that.
Well, the very short, straightforward answer is that the public sector and the private sector should really work together. And I think you need a lot of government support. Now, I'm very much encouraged by the two ministers representing these two economies in ASEAN. As you see, power transmission, building the smart power grid is very, very important in this region. And since you are very small compared to, say, big countries like China, how do you build a power plant? You build a supercritical power plant for being cost effective, and that power plant, may account for more than 20, even 30% of the entire power supply. And how can your domestic power grid handle that? To be safe, you must reduce the power supply from one plant below, let's say, 15% or something. But when you work together, have this smart power grid, I think you can achieve a lot of economic efficiency. And the smaller companies certainly can contribute, but I think it calls for regional cooperation in this regard. That is no less important than road, railways, ports connectivity.
Right.
I don't know whether I answer your question or not.
Anna, you want to add to that?
Just from an investor perspective, I mean, one thing that we see even with the large projects is sometimes they're not big enough because investors want to not be the only party in there. They want something already pooled, and they want like 50 to 200 million is kind of the sweet spot for a single investor. So, even the big projects aren't big enough. So from a financing and investment perspective, it's going to be about pooling, right, and finding the way that you can pool and make those vehicles more investable.
Yes.
Maybe if I can add to that, I think the technology, the innovation that we talk about will come in and maybe support the sort of distributed power generation, distributed grid management, in particular the energy storage technology, which should soon be available at the feasible cost to allow the individual producer to manage their own power supply into their own place. And also the digitization of the power of the grid system would allow the distributed, the smart grid to be a bit more efficient. The energy storage system would allow the non-dependable power generation to be a bit more dependable, will allow the grid management of the surplus supply in certain times to be used for the undersupply in certain peak period, and thus also would reduce the requirement for the investment in the infrastructure for the reserves of the power plants as well. So those are the technology that will come in handy into the more efficient energy management.
Thank you very much. You have a question? No.